welcome. We're playing Ex Novo, which is less a game and more of a way to design cities for campaigns, but it's built with the ability to have multiple players in mind in case you want to run this as your session 0 to build part of the setting out. What I'm going to be doing is I have a campaign currently that I'm working on. Let me add an image of the map, the overall map. And I'm working on this campaign for Dungeons and Dragons. And it's set on a homebrew continent called Karsus. That name may be a spoiler to the overall arc. You know what I didn't do? Oh no, I didn't. I did set my tag. Okay, we're good. So this is Karsus. I'm just gonna shrink it down so it hangs out right here. I am not an artist, and you may be able to tell this. Hang on, while I'm talking about it, it'll be big. This is Karsus. This is one continent of many in my homebrew campaign. The players have not left Karsus yet, so I'm going to be using this Ex Novo to design the cities that I have not designed yet. I'm going to be using Ex Novo to, at large, make design choices for other continents in the campaign. What Karsus boils down to is it's the high magic continent in the campaign. Everywhere else has a lot less magic because plot reasons. I'll be doing my best not to spoil the campaign in case any of my players want to show up, but we'll be working on the design of Quodis today because that's the nearest town to where my players are. Potentially, if we have enough time, I might also start working on Martyr. Antrim I'm not going to use Ex Novo for because I have something in mind for it. I have a very clear vision and I don't want whatever mechanics Ex Novo has getting in the way of that. But we're definitely designing Quodis, and we might design Martyr, and we might move on to some other continents, depending on how much time I have. Or I might work on Belder, or flesh out Midrun. I have some design choices already made for Midrun because the players have been there. But anyway, we might design more cities, but we're starting with Quodis. Now, Quodis is one of the two major port cities. I say major port cities. Openshaw up here is a minor port city. And because Quodis has whatever shipping's taking place over on the coast itself, and then it has that sea route, which you may be able to see through past Neron there, which is an island full of the outlandish races. Outlandish, as D&D terms them. Anyway, we're gonna be playing Ex Novo. I just accidentally opened Skype. Gosh dang it. If the stream freaks out, it's because I accidentally clicked Skype in my taskbar. Now for Ex Novo, you need 3 6-sided dice, which are not hard when you have a big old bag of dice. Let's see. I'm going to use nice d6s for this. Where are my nice d6s? But yeah, this is very much designed for... We're going to use these, which I consider Kyrnus's dice. We're going to use these... one of these, because it's my general DM dice. Let me see how good or bad that shot is. Yeah, we're going to use these. These are Kyrnus's dice. Kyrnus, if you don't know, is one of my D&D characters. He is a white dragonborn, and he was on LGBT&D. It was a very fun podcast that I did. Although it's only sort of a podcast because nobody wants to pay for hosting. I might eventually pay for hosting. I don't know. These are the D6s from my DM set, which have a whole story behind them. Or rather, my like general DM set. I have a set of dice that I actually made from scratch that are specifically for this Karsus campaign. I designed them with this campaign in mind. What else? See, these are the Karsus dice. If you look very closely, you might be able to notice they're not the best dice mechanically. They kind of have, the numbers are very worn and very aged. I did that, well, not deliberately, but I feel that makes them very on theme for this campaign. Oh, I think that's all my D6s. Unless there are a few more hiding in the bag here. There's one more. I've got some little blue D6s if we need more. It said I only need 3, right? Yeah. Ideally in different colors, you need at least 3. Okay. So we'll put the rest of these dice back. But I think I've posted in the group Discord about these dice that I designed for Karsus, is the campaign set on Karsus, but I don't think I've posted them anywhere just because they're not perfect, they're not incredible, they're not shockingly good. So I will be eventually posting when I get a set that I feel is very, like, at minimum, satisfactory. I will be posting the pictures of those, but for now, they will remain a secret. Anyway, so Ex Novo. Ex Novo consists mainly of drawing lines and rolling on tables. So initially, step 1 is design the target size of the settlement. Now, Quodis is a very, very large city. It's been there probably dating back to very, very early on the continent, before several large plot events have happened. And so I'm going to say that it is a large city in the terms of this game. The sizes of cities range from a village where it is, it's like the town I live next to, a town of like 100 people. Everyone knows everyone, and everybody's working to get by. And they range from that to Metropolis, which is a giant city of global fame, big enough to last ages, an unchangeable melting pot of ideas and culture. I feel like Quodis is a step down from that. It's a large city, big enough to be the capital of a nation and to hold at least one university. Quodis has been there for a while. Quodis is not old enough to be a metropolis. I guess you can pick different age scales too, but I feel like Quodis is not a metropolis. I feel like Martyr and Anchime are on the scale of metropolis. Quodis is a large city. So we'll keep that in mind. A large city. Split the map with 13 lines and set aside 18 citizen tokens. So this whole square is the map, so we get to split it 13 times. We'll start with black lines. So 1. Oh, those lines are a little thick. Let's thin them down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So, we then move on to the age scale. We decide how old the city is at the end of things. Quodis has been there a long time, but it has not been there millennia. So the age scale goes from nestling. It's like a generation of people have decided to put houses there, to ancient. This place has seen the millennia go by and shrugged. I'd say this town is somewhere in the middle. It's a few hundred years old. It is not so old as to have been there forever. The elves may remember a time when there is not Quodis. The humans definitely do not. Because, elves live at a scale tenfold higher than the average human in D&D. At least that's the lore I'm running on. So we're going to say it is elderly, but not ancient. So 20 development phases. So let's keep track of this. We have 18 citizens total. I'm putting this in chat so I can remember it there. 18 citizen tokens. That probably represents an arbitrary number of citizens. 18 citizen tokens. And we have 20 development phases. These are going to take a while. This is going to take a while. Probably. Yeah, development phases determine how long the game will last. We set our target age, and then we begin the founding phase. Major geography has already been decided. So we know from the Karsus map here that Quodis is essentially on a peninsula. And we have some existing terrain features. We have the Livingstone Falls to the northeast. Northeast. To the northeast of Quodis, we have the Livingstone Falls. And we have the beach. We have the beach surrounding Quodis. Unlike Martyr's black sand beaches, this is a more ordinary beach, and it has quite a great deal of heavy harboring upon it, just for all the ships and stuff. So let's look at the terrain. I'm going to look at the terrain feature table. Terrain feature table. We have the plateau, and we already have, looking at the terrain feature table, we have the plateau, which is 1. We have the peninsula, which is 2. And we have the 3 special, which is the falls. So, we'd really only need to pick one more. Is there something odd going on? I guess, is there something odd going on here? Well, I guess this isn't necessarily just... Oh, we draw it... We draw the geography over the lines. So let's keep the Karsus picture open for reference. We're going to assume that Quodis does not run up to the falls. Quodis extends roughly where that green area is at the most. So we're going to draw that shape with, I guess, this brush. This is where it gets difficult because I can't draw. So, over these lines, we have roughly a little bit of this shape, right? Yeah. A little bit of this shape. Yeah, we'll say that's roughly the like coastline of Quodis. And then it kind of extends off the map a little ways. And then comes back in a gradual curve. Am I drawing that the right direction? Sort of. So this is sort of the Quodis shape, loosely, and it kind of extends this way. That's sort of kind of Quodis. Yeah, I mean, it's not an art project. You know, it's not perfect, but it is passable. Remember that these geometric lines are the difference in textures. I guess what we're going on. It probably would have done me better to paint the shape in. Yeah, we oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that works. But yeah, they have options, you know, for different okay, so now that we've made our geography decisions, you know, there's kind of the overall shape, and the beaches run about hang on, let me do this. The beaches run about this far in, let's say. And this far in. Oh geez, am I gonna have to paint all this in, or can I paint bucket it? Is that allowed? Is paint bucket still a thing here? Yes. Ooh, no, don't do that. Oh, this is gonna be fun. So I want to paint here. Why is that not allowed? Okay, because that's not the right shape. Zoot. What if I color that in? So then it's closed. And then paint. Yes. Good. Obviously, like, later I'm going to go over all of these, like, this hasty map and, you know, do it in an actual map making program. But this is just our kind of our working copy, which is something that Ex Novo actually suggests. They suggest you kind of like hash it out like this very quickly, very suddenly, very easily, and then you know, very simply, and in some way record what you're doing, so then you can go back and make it a better look. We'll fill in these areas with ocean coloring, because surprise, Karsus is a great big island, and there's a great big ocean surrounding it. Okay. See, it's already looking more like a map. Look at there. And then inland of the beaches, there is kind of a sort of green sort of area for most of the map. That's kind of just plainsland. Kind of this color in here. Sorry, if I lean in, that's a bad habit of mine. We'll sit up straight. So about there-ish is how far the green extends here, but it extends further up here. And then the rest of this would be, the rest of this would be the stone leading up to the plateau, I think. I think I might have that upside down from how I initially drew it on the map, but we're going with it. So we'll pick this gray for the stone. for the plateau area. But already, like, look at the way this is coming together. This is really nice. Hang on, I'm going to undo these because it's going to bother me that I have it upside down. We're going to say that this is the green stretch there, up against the road. And this is the peninsula, the stony area. And we can even say that this line here, can you guys see oh, you can see my cursor, good. This line here is the road that's coming into Quodis, as you can see from mid-run. Okay, so geography decisions made. Founding location. Where was this founded? Why was it founded there? Purpose location. You roll 2d6. So we'll roll this guy and this guy. And it decides from a range of 2 to 12, why is it there? So we'll roll. And I got a 6. I think that's yep. I got a 5 and a 1. So that gives me a 6. Useful natural resources. We add a resource to the map. Let's say that it was founded there because of the ocean. What can the ocean provide? Salt, fish, many a thing. Let's say that Quodis started, and we'll put down a custom color here. We'll put down a kind of a sepia tone, let's say. We'll add this little sepia tone color, and we'll put a little dot right over here. Let's say Quodis starts here, and it expands downward and outward. Well, actually, where is it marked on the map? It's marked in the middle of the peninsula on the map, but let's say it starts here. That little weird shape I just drew. Let's actually put a shape there. Let's put a little 4-pointed star right there. Right there. That's where we start. Because, I gotta fill that in. Paint buckets. Doing this in MS Paint. Crunch. You know what I never did? I never posted this in any Discords. That's not the end of the world. Quodis started here, extended downward. Because of the resource. Draw a related landmark or resource. So let's say it started here, and we're going to draw a couple sets of docks here to represent the fishing. Maybe we could draw a little smokestack somewhere over here to represent water boiling for salt, maybe. It's a concept. So we'll take a brown and a shape, and we'll do this. We'll put little no, there. We'll put little dock shapes along the coastline. And we'll fill them in. Dude. Alright, so we got little dock shapes. I think maybe if we go in with a color similar to this but lighter and put some slats on those docks, it will go miles to communicate this a little better. So we'll zoom in and we'll put little lines on these docks. Can I still do lines? Is that allowed? Yes, it is. So we'll put little lines on these to try and get across the fact that they're dogs. And trust me, I'm going through this later. I'm going to be going through this later with like Incarnate or a similar like map making tool to make this less obviously done in MS Paint. Because that map of Karsus you're seeing on screen, I drew on my phone with a stylus based on a popular map making technique. So it's not the prettiest, especially since I'm no art major. No, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, we'll put little... Doesn't need to be perfect. It's not a 4-H project. It's not a painting. I'm not Bob Ross. As long as it gets our point across. Nyeh. 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 Kind of wish I could have rotated some of these to kind of suit the coastline better, but it gets the point. So we'll say the abundant resource initially drawing people here was the fact that it's a coastal city and the fishing was good. And perhaps if it calls for another resource later, we could add a salt boil tower somewhere, maybe here-ish. Okay, what's next? Founding location. Draw a related landmark or resource. Settlement decision. This turn tells us who initiated the founding of the settlement. The options range from an accident all the way to a divine commandment. Roll in the purpose decision table. Purpose decision. Draw the first settlement district and move one citizen token from the pool to the city. Place it close to the settlement. So, we've decided where the settlement was founded because we put this little guy here. So, why was Quodis founded? Roll 2d6 on this purpose decision table and we'll see what we get. 6, 7. Pioneers looking for opportunity. Okay, yeah, I can work with that. So, what opportunity were they looking for? When was Quodis founded? Quodis was founded 400 years ago? I have to check something so that I don't write over my own lore. Someone else is streaming art, so I guess I know who we're rating after this. I have to check something super duper quick. Just in my own cognizance, in my own lore, so I don't overwrite something. But I am pretty sure year, if I search year in the Discord here. Okay, yes, that it was that amount. So let's say that Quodis was founded 450 years ago by pioneers looking for a food source to use/abuse. And we move one citizen token, which we'll represent with a heart. And we move one red citizen token here, because a citizen lives, an amount of citizens live there. Boop. So now we have 17 citizen tokens. Okay, so I need to write this down in my lore document. I have like an overarching lore document that the players don't know all the things in, but I do because I'm the game engine. Look at me. Look at me. I am the game engine. Okay. Where is it in my concepts or map key? We'll open both and find out. Ooh, do you guys have my system audio right now? You do not. Oh, hey! Hey, hi, hello. I will be doing my best not to spoil, like, big lore things. But, it is indeed Karsus. We're designing Quodis right now. Because I wanna have a good base for you all to fill in blanks on. Okay, concepts. Concept is not the right document. Ooh, I really hope that concept comes up, because that's a lore piece that I would really like. Did I have how many years this was written down in here? No, okay. Oh boy, Quodis! So, Green Rex here plays Uda, a character in this campaign who is from Quodis. So that's exciting. Am I saying Uda right, by the way? I might be saying it wrong. Numantia, Humgrum, Quodis. You know, I could have said that Quodis started over here because of the Magic Falls. Maybe that's the next resource, instead of them boiling something for salt. Indeed! Uda is a member of the town guard, and she's very much an upstanding citizen. Yep. Okay, so we'll loop in the healing water the next time there is a resource. But founded by hungry settlers in search of food, they found Quodis's coastline to be remarkably bountiful in fishing, which led to the town at its start having quite a few prominent fisheries. Maybe a bit more emphasis on the second U. Okay. Noted. Founded in... Oh, I have to remember what the current year is in the campaign, because I am goofus and decided to make... Okay, so the current year in campaign is 2,592. Learn about Quodis now could help me out later, because this is stuff Uda would probably already know about. Exactly. I should also probably loop Creathian in on this. Anyway, the current year is 2,592. So, how old did I say Quodis is? 400 and... Let's say 500, just to make it a round number. So it was founded in... Well, actually... Yes, so let's say founded in 2092 PS. Yeah, I have to make sure that certain things align in the timeline for plot reasons. But that amount of time works. Okay. So, what's the next step here? Founding location, settlement decision, starting hierarchy. The people have settled. Time to figure out how they organize their lives. This turn determines the power structures of the community. It also tells us how these people got here. Draw the path and or the vehicle that got them here. So we roll on the power hierarchy table and draw the route that leads the settlers here. We already have the route established. Oh, true, also for Alviana reasons. Okay, so hierarchy, we roll 1d6. Beep. I rolled a 2. They communally vote. Alright, people get together and vote on their issues, but what makes a citizen eligible to vote? That's a hardy question. So, we know from the large map that the road comes in near the top of this plain area down here. Oh no, it comes in around the top of the it passes near a beach and then comes in over top of that green. So, bip bip. That means the road, which is this color, which we're going to use the spray can brush for. The road comes in like this into here. And we're going to put a little how are we going to represent democracy? I think we just need to type that in the chat. They vote collectively. I'm going to put this in my lore document, actually. Make large city affecting decisions. And it says to put something on the map in the game to remind you of... oh no, it just says draw the route that led the settlers here. So I like to think that the existing road... actually, can I undo that whole spray paint trail? I can. Okay, so let's have it more aligned with this line here. I like to think that the natural path aligns very closely with something that would make sense anyway. So we'll have it we'll have the major natural path that led them there look like that. Okay, starting hierarchy. They vote. They communally vote on things. What's next? After the starting hierarchy, we decide on community factions. We need to figure out how the power is shared or split within the community. This produces a number of factions. The active player rolls and determines the number of the factions and adds the first landmark. Then the next player adds the second landmark until all have been placed. So we roll on the power factions table, which is a single d6. I rolled a 5. There are 2 factions working together amicably. Which fragile bonds bind them together? Which would break them apart? I think there is the Fisheries Guild. They run the majority of the fisheries. They are the first major faction. So we will draw. So it says note, name, and symbol of a faction on a note card. So we'll have the first major faction, the Fisheries Guild, who have a symbol. I feel like they would have a net. A net brimming with fish. Is the first major settlement, is the first major faction. What would the second major faction be? Well, what else is there in Quodis other than fish? There's obviously the Livingstone Falls, but the settlers don't know about that yet. That's later in the timeline. They figure out that the falls do things later. Not much later, because there's like long Oh, ooh, the Thieves Guild. Yeah, the Thieves do have guilds. Yeah, each city has like a Thieves Guild, like their own individual Thieves Guild, and then these individual Thieves Guilds all report to a large Thieves Guild. I think in no small part because of Barris being from Quodis as well. I think because all of the small thieves guilds report to a larger thieves guild. I think I want to put Quodis as where the large thieves guild begins, because as long as there are two people, somebody's gonna want somebody else dead. So let's say that the OG thieves guild, like the big boy thieves guild, is from Quodis, and we have the thieves guild. Thieves guild, which has, let's say, a bag of coin. Ooh, spicier. A bag of coin that has a knife dangling from the drawstring of the pouch. Let me put these in my lore document. The two major factions are the Fisheries Guild. I'm just going to copy those from chat. Also, I'm definitely not going to be able to draw these symbols in any meaningfully good way. The Thieves Guild, who have a symbol of the bag of coin with the knife. Hi, I'm streaming. What's up?
Good night.
Good night. Have good sleep.
Yep, you too.
Yeah. Some things I want to have I want to have drawn. Some things I don't. Okay, so move a citizen token. So we draw a landmark.
You got both cats?
I got Magnus. Library's here somewhere.
Alright.
Okay, so we draw a landmark for each faction, and we move a citizen token from the city to the faction in power. So obviously, yeah, that's my mom. She is a frequent visitor of the stream. And almost all of them are unintended. So, the Fisheries Guild is obviously the Fisheries Guild is obviously the ruling faction, so to speak. So we'll make a little fish shape over by the docks, and we will okay, so we'll make a little fish shape in a fish color over by the docks, and we'll move that heart over there. Make a little fish shape. Need a little triangle. Need a fishy shape. Ooh, this triangle is not doing what I want it to. Let's zoom in. Ooh, not that much. Okay, so okay, that's how that works. Wait, I can change this. Okay, good. So fish. Can I move this? Can you tell I haven't used MS Paint in forever? Hang on. Well, now that we're more zoomed in, let's make a different triangle. Let's start here. And no, don't do that. What rules am I using to make Quodis? It's called Ex Novo, and I got it out of that Justice bundle. from itch.io. I'll link the creator's page in chat at some point. Okay, well, this isn't doing what I want it to. Can I undo that? Let's use this instead. This may get what I want instead. Ah, yes. This gets me the diamond shape I want. Fish. Oh, someone gave me that bundle and I can probably use it. Yeah, it's been super handy. Like it just off the cuff, like it's helping me very much remember to include things that I would normally forget to include and then panic that I've forgotten to include. I would like to bucket. Okay, so fish. The fish shape is the Fisheries Guild, and they get that citizen that's hanging out there. So we'll fill that in with the eyedrop, this color. We will fill this in with a little larger of a brush. Because I'm usually pretty good about, like, you know, the big details of a city or a location or, like, the things that the players interact with. But sometimes I space on lore. So we need to put that red heart over here next to the Fisheries Guild because they're who have power. Bloop. Okay. And then we draw a landmark for that faction. We already accidentally sort of did that with the docks. What could we put along with the docks to represent fisheries? I'm not sure. Wait, so you okay? So only the Fisheries Guild would get a citizen token according to the rules. So what other than the docks would go with the fisheries? There are maybe buildings, let's say, that where they process the fish and sell the fish. So we'll go with a wood sort of color because these are wood buildings. And we'll plop down some little building shapes. Building. 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 So they get these little fishing shacks that they talked the community into doing because they're like, well, hey, we're the fish people. I'm gonna put little white squares for windows in there because that's not too bad for detail. And it says don't put too much detail into things in case you need to erase them. So, like, I'm being careful about that. But windows happen. We are the ones giving you food. Exactly. So the Fishery Guild gets fish buildings, and the Thieves Guild also gets a landmark. We're gonna put a little in the city proper area for the Thieves Guild. We're gonna put a little not necessarily a jailhouse. I have something in my brain like a courthouse. So we'll take another house shape and we'll do this. And then instead of directly drawing it, we will take this color and make it a little darker. And we'll draw little pillars with the line tools. So we'll draw a little bit of this. Hi, I would like to, can I zoom in? Okay. It's kind of a crooked pillar because, you know, crooked crime or whatever. Okay, those aren't the bestiest pillars in the world. Do all the Thieves Guild have a different ranking system? I think that was hinted at when we dealt with that guy. They absolutely do have rankings, for sure. Crooked Pillar, Crooked Crime. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, but the Thieves Guilds do have ranks. I have not decided on the ranks yet. There's definitely going to be like I might crib notes from the old school D&D thief class names maybe, depending on how I'm feeling, or I might just, make something up. As is tried and true D&D tradition. But there will be ranks for these thieves in the guild. So we'll pick this color, I think was the original choice. And we'll paint bucket everything in. That only sort of worked. Line. I could just like shift click to get these lines, but I won't. Because that's too easy. Whenever I hear of rankings in a guild, I remember pyramid schemes. Fair. Pyramid schemer. One of the ranks is probably going to be con man. One of them might be like a pyramid schemer. Something like that. Anyway, this is the Thieves Guild. It's got little pillars, and it's got a little. I might round this out a little bit and make it look more like a dome. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do one of these. Like so. Move it around to get exactly the shape I want. Oh yeah, absolutely. Got a little dome going on. There we go. This sort of gets across what I mean. So this is the Thieves Guild. And that's the landmark for that faction. The final step before we can begin the development is to name the city. It's Quodis. We know that. It says write the city's name at the top of the map, so we'll do that. Yeah, I definitely am going to go, once I'm complete with this map, I'm going to go through like Incarnate or something, a good tool to do this. So this is Quodis. And we're not using that font because it's the bad font. I don't like it. And I have many font options if they will ever load. You can do it, Paint. There we go. I've got a very fun font here somewhere. I don't know if it works, but it would be very great if it did. Wait, no. Up here. There we go. Quodis. This is kind of handwritten-y. And bold it out. I would say I could take care of that, but I don't have Incarnate Premium, and I wouldn't be able to add notes that you could. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go back and improvify this a good deal once I can. That's not what I wanted. Hey, I would like to... okay. Sure, it's cut off. No, it's not. I'm not okay with that. So this is kind of a handwritten font that I have, and I like it. Okay, so Quodis. Alright, what's next? Historic event. You determine a random event and then try to make sense of it within the story of the settlement. The questions within each entry are inspirational prompts and may be ignored or changed at will. You may also ask the other players for ideas or listen to their contributions. Often the results of the table will ask you to put something on the map. When you're done, you may want to write down the name of the event to provide a record of the city's history. So roll on the events table. Events, warfare. Is there another? Okay, there are event types here. Thanks. Razmatazik actually designed that font. I use it for my thumbnails too, and a lot of my stream assets. Okay, so I think a warfare event this early in the city's history is not a good thing. I think. Oh, you roll 3d6 and you don't get to pick which type of event happens. It just goes. So you roll 3d6 and each d6 is a digit on the table. So we'll roll 3d6 and we got a 2, we got a 5, and we got a 3. So 253 on the table. What's that? 253 is 248. 253. Drastic changes enforced. Could a law or regulation really change everyday life? Could something like alcohol ever be permitted? It says add or remove something. So very early in Quodis' timeline. Yeah, they're amazed to make it work, like fighting over who gets to lead or the rules of the power. So Quodis outlaws something very early on. Obviously, it's not the practice of magic. That makes no sense. What would Quodis outlaw super early? I think Quodis, rather than outlawing something outright, Quodis has very strict, is that like, does that make sense? Yeah, drastic changes. So I think very early on in the lifetime of Quodis, they see that fishing is a hard job and that it is occasionally very dangerous. So very early in the city's lifespan, so to speak, Quodis develops very strong labor laws in protection of individual laborers. I think, the very health and safety type things. So we'll put a little what's the shape I'm thinking of? We'll put a little hexagon next to the fishy building. No, not a hexagon. We'll put an up arrow. Actually, can I just make an arbitrary polygon? Yeah, I can do that. So we'll put an up arrow for the workers rising up and making sure that their bosses are treating them well. So we'll put a little up arrow, not in pink. We'll put a little up arrow in a custom color. Let's say this green. Okay. So in this green, this up arrow denotes that the workers want to be treated well because of the large profits. Early on, since there's a history of collective action, the Fisheries Guild binds workers together into a union to improve health and safety both of the products produced and the workers doing the rough job of pulling up all of these these fish. Okay, what else do I do with this then? Note down the event on the timeline. So very early, very early on, let's say, since it was founded in 2092, let's say because the city is 500 years old. Let's say very early on, so let's say 2142. 2142 posts sans. The workers make the Fisheries Guild into a proper guild. And they make it into a union to make sure that they are producing good fish to feed the people of the city, and that they are safe in their efforts. And the city has survived a really long time. That's nice. Exactly. Like, I like to think that Quodis was there for a very long time. Just because, a port city doesn't have much reason to go away. Natural growth, optional. If you want to, you can add a citizen token to the map. Means during this period, the city grew normally from its user. Don't worry if you spend all your tokens by the time you're done with this. You can add a citizen token from the pool to the city and add a district to the map. Okay, so I think because people... Are they attacked by the undead since the beginning? Not yet. I think the next major event will probably tie into the falls and make that important. I think kind of to foreshadow that a little bit, there is a new district. It's an apothecaries district. And it comes up over here, let's say. And we'll put a cross, because that's, a known medical symbol for most people. So we'll put a little cross right here. Because, Red Cross. This is not a very even cross. Hang on, let's try this again. Little smaller, make it a little easier. So there is an apothecaries district that springs up in response to the workers wanting better working conditions and living conditions. Oh, dang it. Hang on. Well, let's work smarter here. 1, 2. Then we'll fill this in. An apothecaries district shoots up. One of the characters Uda knows, Oka Oska, would probably work there if there isn't a gardener's district. There might be a gardener's district later. You never know. So we add a citizen token to this area because people are going out of their way to become apothecaries. Blurp. And eventually, in the large-scale Quodis, this whole section here is going to be the apothecaries district. And eventually, in the large-scale Quodis area, these 3 spaces are going to be the Fisheries Guild and the Thieves Guild. Although the Thieves Guild are going to have fingers in a lot of pies. Anyway. After all the historic events are done. Okay, so the development phase How many times do we do the development phase? There's rules for that somewhere. Okay, 20 development phases, that's why. Okay, so we need to do this a lot more times. Thriving. Okay, so we do this 20 more. We do this 19 more times. So 19 dev phases, and we have 16 citizen tokens left, right? Yeah, 16 citizen tokens. 16 citizen tokens. Okay, so next dev phase, we roll again. 635. So we scroll all the way down in this PDF until we find the 635 section. 635. The land moves. The ground shifts and changes. A hill is pushed up. A mountain collapses. What force made this happen? Is it beneficial? This is when the falls develop their strangeness, let's say. And this is... Hang on a second, I need to remember how time works. So we are currently at 2142 PS. So 2192 PS. Yes, 2192 PS. The Livingstone Falls off to the east of Quodis are discovered and immediately valued for their potentially healing effect. Did they shoot up out of nowhere? No. Since you mentioned the bundle for racial equality, I decided to check it out again. It turns out they had like 2 more pages and stuff. They included a couple of fun paladin oaths. There was only one paladin oath I noticed when I was digging through the bundle. There might be more. There's a lot of really good TTRPG stuff in this bundle, though. Anyway, so we'll zoom out the map here. Ooh, not that much. So over here, now there are 3. Dang, they really kept adding stuff. So brushes, we'll take a little brush stroke here. We'll take the watercolor. Hang on, I drop this watercolor and then lighten it a little bit. Hang on one moment. I want to see if I can do something color-wise. Okay, add custom colors. So we'll take this, hang on, we need a different brush shape here. Ah, crayon has texture. So we'll draw a little blobby shape over here. Hang on, no. We'll draw a little set of lines. 3. And that represents the falls getting discovered. And what does that do? Yeah, that would have allowed us to remove a terrain feature, but I was saying, yeah, we add a terrain feature. This doesn't bring... I don't think this option adds a citizen token. They just discover it, and it makes the apothecary district a lot more lively. Alright, so that's 18 dev phases. This is going to take a while. Zeet Zoot. 5, 3, 1. So we look at the table and we say 531. What does that do? 531 is public transportation. Public transportation. The city invests in horse-drawn buses, underground trains, or exotic beasts of burden. How does this transform the city's streets and avenues? Okay, so they invest in some sort of public transit. I would say this is, pretty early on in... I would say maybe they just recognize that they need more streets for both walking and the assorted carriages that happen. So we will pick the Dort color and we will draw a few extra roads along expected pathways. Ooh, those need to be straighter than that. Maybe some horses and wagons start coming in and helping people get around. Yeah. So there are more roads made. There's a few over here too. Just kind of generally encapsulating the area. Okay, there's some roads. And we'll let these connect over here. Roads. And I think the Thieves Guild, now that people are sizing up, it's easier to get around, so it's easier to hide things. So the Thieves Guild now gets a citizen token, I think. So we'll put a citizen token next to the Thieves Guild. So that makes 17 dev phases and 15 citizen tokens. Okay, and we'll roll again for a dev phase. 4, 5, 1. What does this do? A cultural fad, a strange new dance, a silly new hat. What silly novelty has gripped the people? And what about those that don't join in? What silly novelty would the people invest in? I'm not sure. I would say, let's tie this into the Thieves Guild recently getting more influence. The Thieves Guild realizes that gambling, that tonic from the shocking grasp would come really useful here. Yeah, that's a lot later in the timeline. So over time, after people develop roads, let's say a little later, let's say 2200 PS. Road infrastructure is built. Road infrastructure is built and a gambling habit grips the city. Okay, so do I mark that on the map? Cultural fad. We just add a resource. So let's put a little cash stack next to the Thieves Guild here. Next time they expand, they're going down this way. The city expands down this way and then over to the falls. Anyway, so we'll put a little cash stack next to the shape square. Actually, it'd be a little coin. It'd be a little coin pouch, wouldn't it? So we'll put a little coin pouch. Coin pouch type shape next to the Thieves Guild, because they figured out that gambling is really easy to rig and that it's also really fun to do. So the Thieves Guild makes good money, and we'll put a little G on the bag. G for gold. The house always wins, as they say. Indeed it does. And doubly so if you're playing with the Thieves Guild. Hi, I would like to move this around. Can I do that? Okay, well, I don't like that. Let's try that again. Yeah. G for gold. Okay, so a little gold pouch, and we roll again. We decrement the things happening. 16 dev phases. And we roll for a dev phase again. 1, 4, 4. A spy has stolen secrets. What were these secrets? What damage could be done to the city with such knowledge? Ooh, okay, spicy. We remove something from the map. Maybe someone, what could we remove from the map, though? Maybe a spy steals the secret of the house always winning, and so the Thieves Guild don't make any money, but they have to keep up the front of, we're not just doing this to steal your money. So they're still commonly gambling, but they're not winning anymore. So rather than gold, we'll make this a copper piece. We'll just leave the money bag blank, because now they're not getting any money. Secret is out. The Thieves Guild was rigging the gambling. People still gamble, but it's not profitable anymore. They're winning, but much less so, if anything. 2, 1, 2. A meteoric rise. Someone rises to power. What deceit or duplicity led to this increase in status? Who gets left behind? A faction gains power. Is there another faction? Can I add another, faction to the... Yeah, let's add another faction to the... What if would some law enforcement come in at this point? Let's say this is when the town guard comes the collective voting decides that the Thieves Guild, they don't like that they're enforcing things. The town collectively decides that, oh, well, the Thieves Guild has too much power. They're... So... Yeah, we need to get up to 2,592 as the current year, I think. I think so. I have it written here. Yeah, the current year is 2,592. So a few years after that, the town guard is founded as people fear getting mass swindled again. And that would be 2257, let's say. So we'll draw a little shield. We'll draw a little shield down here. So as time passes, the city expands downward this direction. And the bleh, 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 bleh. I lost what I was saying. One moment. We need to put a shield here. We'll put a star, actually. Put a star. Yellow star. No. Shield shape. So we'll put a shield shape, which is basically just going to be a square with a little rounded top. You know, shield. So the little shield shape means that definitely shaped like a shield. If we round out the bottom on that, actually, that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, that looks more shield-like. So the town guard comes to power. The town guard arises because they are not heckin' trusting the Thieves Guild with things anymore. Okay, next development. Actually, we've added a district to the map. So let's add a citizen token because we have citizens are joining the town guard. Boop. Zoom this back out. Oop, not that far. So now we have 15 dev phases and 14 citizen tokens. I think now that there is a town guard and 2 major guilds in the city, citizenry is gonna pick up. People are like, oh well, there's crime, but there's also, anti-crime, so to speak. 535. Yeah, and 300 years to go. So they're picking up speed. 535 is 535 is trouble with the food supply. Food imports don't arrive, harvests are meager. People struggle. Do they starve or move away? How does the cuisine adapt? Hey, remember how I was saying that the town is expanding? This says remove a district outright. I think the fishery guild is too strong to be completely removed, but the importance of fishing is greatly diminished. Just because of a few slow fishing years, I think. It's still important, obviously. But they are less valued, shall we say. And we'll remove one of the fish houses to exemplify that. Several poor fishing years decrease the power of the fisheries guild, at least momentarily. And now people know that, that's not an unshakable piece of the city. Losing power they once had, maybe another faction will gain power soon because of that. Very true. 342. What's this one? 342. Oh my gosh, an unexpected shortage. No. Actually, you don't have to use the tables. I think I like maybe the farmers or the merchants. Exactly. I think rather than losing resources, I'm gonna pick something else from the table that production rises. It's near that part of the table. Yeah, absolutely. I'm picking production rises, and we're adding a farming. There's a thriving business of contained farms based on there's a thriving business of contained farms based on the water from the falls. So we're gonna add this. No, not like that. Like this area, which is normally pretty arid, what with all the stone, and this smaller area here are dominated by the farming, the botanists guild, or something along that line. Yeah, the botanical society, let's say. And we'll also give them this dark green color. And I don't know, can I do a flower shape? I might be able to do a flower shape. So we can put a nice thick green line. Ooh, not that thick. Then we'll see if I can do a little sunflower shape here. A flower, a farming scythe, a tree, many things can work here. Yeah, we'll just kind of... flower. Sunflower. Flower from the sun. So the Botanical Guild using both the magic of the falls and just, kind of magic in general. The Botanical Guild, the Druidic Society, something along that line. They use existing powers, like the falls, in order to make growth happen. So now we're down to 13 dev phases and 13 citizen tokens. Since the Botanical Society here gets a citizen token. See, that's the fun thing about this, is like you don't necessarily have to roll on the thing. It's just suggested. So within 10 years of research via Druidic influence, the water from the falls, and sheer stubbornness, a Botanical Society arises, which gives an alternative not fish option for those who are hungry. Yeah, I really like that. If things don't fit, just go for what you want. Exactly. It's your city that you're designing. That's the whole point. Okay, let's roll again. We got 4, 6, 4. Did I get that already? There's literally a gambling increases option in this table. A new secret cult spreads. Add a faction or a faction gains power. I think people are so worried about the fishing guild. After their confidence is threatened, that they really love the Botanical Guild, and they invest in the Apothecarial Guild too, just for the sheer fact of just for you eat differently when you're healthy, basically, is the thought, I think. So we will put a heart. We'll put half a heart for the Botanical Guild and half a heart for the apothecaries. So we'll paint bucket this, and then we'll get rid of half of it. use of the sea give more power to the Botanical Society and the apothecaries, a group of medical magicians and potion makers. Roll again. 1, 3, 3. Well, hang on. We need to keep track of what turn we're on here. So 12 and 12. So 1, 3, 3. What did I just roll? One, 3, 3. A war is lost. By bravery or luck, the enemy has won a war against the city. How does the city pay for this defeat? Remove up to 3 elements. Okay. I think the historical gambling is wiped out as people get for some reason or another. They're concerned about the Thieves Guild and its influence in the city. I think the Thieves Guild, rather than being an acknowledged part of the city at this point, is now hidden. You know, it's only whispered about or talked about if you're a really bad thief. And as such, the gambling dens are also ostracized. So we're going to put little red no signs over top the Thieves Guild and the gambling. So there's secret gambling now. We still have like 300-400 years left, so over time, about 100 years, the openness of the Thieves Guild is scorned by other cities and places in Karsus, and as such they go underground. An unacknowledged yet important part of the city who still gambles, but less openly. This time we didn't. Yeah, no clear control over the city. They may have control over the city, but it's quiet. 5, 5, 2. A new way to communicate via bells, smoke signals, or the telegraph. People can now communicate at longer distances. How does this affect the city? Who controls this channel? I think people not only get more into the use of magical means of messaging, like sending and message and so on, they also develop a system of what's the thing? What's it called? Not a carillon. The instrument that's a bunch of bells. Large bells instrument. Oh no, it is a carillon. I think systems of carillons spring up around the city, and interpreters for these carillons. And as such, there are, let's say, 5 tones, and they use these to encode letters of common. As the city develops, they learn more of magical messaging systems like message sending, etc. But there is also an what's the word I'm looking for? Revolution. A revolution in tolling. It's called tolling, like, you pay a toll. A set of 5 bells, which, when rung in sequence or in chord, can encode common speech, albeit a bit slowly. It's like Morse code, but with bells. Indeed. Like the bell tolling. So that puts us at 2507 post sans. And current year is 97. So we still have 11 turns and 11 citizens. I think the development of this tolling, attracts people. They're like, what the heck is this? And what are we gonna put on the map for that? I'm not sure. But the city expands further. I think we not red. I think we connect these existing districts like so. Less sloppily, hopefully. Jeez, I can't do that today, can I? So these roads, and in these 2 districts here, we'll put stars. For the new star form of communication. Put little blue stars. Oh, I get, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because the stars have 5 points, and it's a set of 5 bells. And these sets of 5 bells, is there a kind of central government in Quodis, or is it like the strongest faction rules kind of thing? I'm thinking that there is a central council, but they are very, very heavily influenced by the existing factions. Initially, it was yeah, exactly. Like, there's a council with a member of each faction, and then and then based on how large the total population of the city is, there's a number of people. The ruling council decisions for Quodis as a whole has a representative from each guild / faction in the city, and a number of ordinary citizen reps. Overall population. And early on, rather than a council, it was just direct democracy. As the city grew and sprawled, so the tolling brings in. I think the tolling also has a guild in the same way that. In the same way that other major, developments of the city, I think tolling would also have a guild, just because it's important to get, mass information places and do it effectively and correctly. So there is a tolling guild. It's small. We've added 2 citizens there, so now we have 10 and 9. 9 citizen. Okay, we'll roll again. 2, 3, 3. What does that mean? 2, 3, 3. Questionable claims appear. Only someone mad or desperate would bring forth a claim to the city's rule this week. Why do they still try, and who are they? Add or remove something. I think that someone attempts to steal the power of the Healing Falls. Maybe. Questionable claims appear. What does that mean? You can add or remove anything. So I think at this point, actually, this could be when the Zermers start, when the undead start assailing the city. So let's say 2, 5, 10 post Sands. The falls have gone the falls have soured in places, and now is when the undead hassle the city in force. There were isolated incidents previously, but now they seem organized. Crazy maniac tries to obtain the power of the falls, but has awakened something more sinister. I like that. have a lore decision to make there, but that's fine. Will this damage the Apothecary's Guild since they initially relied on the powers of the Falls? Maybe. I like that. I think the Apothecary's Guild, they're still important. They're still useful, but they lose that half of a citizen they had before. Rather than me trying to draw something that represents this, we're just gonna pick color. You guys can't see me picking a color, but we're gonna pick a color. What happens to that half a citizen? Would they move to another faction? I think maybe the guard would potentially gain that half a citizen, just for the sheer fact of now they need to protect the city from the ongoing undead tides. So we'll get there. Yes, the undead have... The undead that Uda knows and loves have come to her city. And it's not pretty. So we got that little purple lightning bolt there. The town guard, standing militia, let's say, will gain the town guard gains some support in light of all this. At least no lycanthropes. Oh, whose is that? Oh, it's just a limited time turtle dove. That's cute. Let's see, what does that bring us to? Now we're at 9 dev turns, 9 citizens. 6, 6, 5. That's almost the end of the chart. Hopefully it's something good. Six, 6, 5. A sudden void. A region vanishes off the map, swallowed by a dark fog, the sea, or hidden away by unnatural rays. What makes this region inaccessible? I think someone magically tries to halt the falls. They have figured out that the falls are what's causing the undead, and they feel that the falls need to be stopped. They try to cast some form of, mold stone or move earth in such a major way, and it backfires. And this is when the falls become on that plateau. So to represent this, we're gonna take this color. A wish spell gone wrong is something else. A wish spell gone wrong is several other things. This is not wish. This is someone, mechanically speaking, this is someone casting, mold earth or move stone or whatever the assorted spell is, change terrain, basically. In such a major, like, they're casting it at 9th level. A bit too far on that one. Like, yeah, it's just that the wish spell gone wrong comes up other places in the campaign, and I don't want to overuse it. Let's just use the polygon tool here to to mark out here, here, and here, that polygon, this area is now the plateau. Let's say that doesn't match up perfectly with the map, but that's why that plateau is there. Let's say at 2550 post sands, someone tries to maximize a move stone spell, or whatever it is, an earth melding spell, in order to control / block the living stone falls, and it does not do what they want. Instead, it creates the plateau, the falls now occupy. So that brings us down to, I think, 8 dev turns and 8 citizens. I think. Let's give the Botanical Guild their half of their citizen and count that as a full citizen. How does that sound? Actually, I'm almost out of time for the night. We're gonna have to speed this up. Actually, I might just yeah, the only remaining turn after these development turns is if you have any leftover citizens, you can use them to bump up population density, and you can name some of the features. So we'll tell you what, I need to be done for the night because I need to sleep soon. I am going to finish the rest of these roles off screen, and I will suss them out, do all that in my own time. I will keep I'll keep y'all posted on this. This Ex Novo is a lot of fun. If you can get your hands on it, absolutely go for it. I think going forward, if I'm going to be doing a campaign with a set of people and it's a long-term campaign, I'm going to use Ex Novo at my session zeros to design some of the areas. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Let's see who we're gonna go raid, because that is a thing. Let me open Twitch on my phone now that I've gotten thoroughly distracted. Ooh, someone's playing Asagao. Someone is playing Asagao named the Persnickety Puppy. So we're gonna go raid them. Unless someone else is playing something. Actually, I changed my mind. We're gonna go drop in on Kyo. Raid Brother Kyo. Looks like he's playing Devil May Cry. I might tune into that, I might not. But I'm gonna give him a raid either way. So I'll see you guys Friday, probably. Maybe for more of this. Maybe for a different game out of the bundle. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. If you're catching this on the VOD, I'll definitely see you later.